Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, this is Mick from Temperance, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather. As always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have Michele, vocals and piano of Temperance. Also, he's with Visions of Atlantis and Caledon. Temperance returned with their fifth studio album entitled Viridian, and it's their first studio album to be released January 24th. So that's correct. Very, very short via Napalm Records. Also, Temperance has released their new single, Mission Impossible, as well. So we're going to be talking to Mick about all this good stuff and see what's going on with Temperance. So, man, how's it going?
So, hi everybody. Let's start with a salute that is always needed. Thanks for listening to us, and thanks for inviting us for this interview, inviting me for this interview, and Temperance, of course. All good, all good. We have a lot of plans for this 2020, and things are going really, really well already. We are receiving our first reviews, our first impression regarding the new album Viridian. Everything seems to be really hyped, and there's a lot of interest on the band. So I feel like we are in a lucky moment.
So you're saying there's some reviews coming in. So far, how's the reviews set with you guys and gals in this? What have you all taken away from it so far?
Well, everything looks cool, as reviewers are actually catching the power of this album, the main power of this album, that is having a lot of songs that are all far one from the other. We wanted to do some experiments, and we ended up with an album that is made out of 11 songs, where you can't actually compare one to another, because you have a rock song, you have a power metal song, you have a ballad, you have a modern melodic, like a hardcore song, just like Mission Impossible, as you said. So there is a lot of music with different style, with different characters, and it's hard to define under a single genre this album, and this is the main thing that luckily reviewers are catching.
So pretty much from you guys, this is a all types of flavor of metal album.
Correct. Yeah. It's like, I would describe it, let's say you get into a kitchen, you don't really know what to eat, so you start taking all the stuff you have, the good stuff you have, I hope at least, the good stuff you have in your kitchen, and you start cooking this plate with everything. But it still sounds good, and it still tastes as good in case of the dish.
How's it been working with Napalm Records after signing with them at the beginning of 2019?
Well, they've been really, really nice and really kind. I mean, I do believe that Napalm Records is one of those labels that actually sign bands they really trust in. There's not just marketing, because I mean, a label it's a marketing agency, but there's not just only marketing with Napalm. They really trust in our music, and they are really helping us with the promotion. They are arranging everything, both on the social media stuff, both on the promotional side. They are also helping us a lot with booking of stuff. The Target tour would have not been possible with our hands only, with our power only. They had an influence in that. So we are really, really thankful, and I mean, I really hope that this collaboration will last long, because we really feel comfortable where we are now.
How long did it take to write and complete the album, Mick?
I believe it was like 3 or 4 months. But, the thing is that we started working on these new songs in January 2019 with Marco. Marco is the main composer of in Temperance, and he had ideas already in January last year. Then we started evolving the ideas, and when we finally get in the studio, it was March or April 2019, and the album was ready around June. So yeah, 3 or 4 months, I would say.
Was it hard to choose between these current set of songs on this album, which one would be your guys' first single or release, or was it hands down Mission Impossible?
Well, it was extremely hard to choose a single. This is what I was saying before. You have so many songs with so many different styles, and basically there is not a single song that clearly describes what we are. And it's impossible to pick just one song to define the entire Viridian, because you have Gaia, that is a pop ballad. You have My Demons Can Sleep, that is a classic melodic metal song. You have Mission Impossible, that is a hardcore song with clean vocals. But basically, if there was a guy growling on it, it would have been a super hardcore song. And then you have like Nanook, that is a Celtic folky song. So we really couldn't decide where to go when we had to pick up the single song. So we just decided by our own tastes. Mission Impossible is one of the songs that we personally prefer, and this is why we chose Mission Impossible. Then we went into My Demons Can Sleep, and in a few days you will have a new single that is I Am the Fire. That is another one of our favorites. So there's no specific reason behind the single, but our taste.
Going forward with Temperance, is this what you're wanting to see from this band, a different flavor of songs instead of just one main-driven sound?
Well, for sure. I mean, we have no boundaries, we have no limits, and when it comes to composing new stuff, we never set a goal in terms of sound. We never define where we will end up with our style, with our music at the end. So basically, we just let our mind go where they want, and we have no limits. I mean, maybe the next album will be a death melodic album. I mean, it's hard to believe that, but we wouldn't block it if this is what we will feel. You know what I mean? So yeah, the more flavor it is, the better it is.
Any songs standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it's hard to choose one, possibly pick one. I know it must change every time. But for you personally, do you have any that stand out for you?
Yeah, actually, in my specific case, it's an easy choice because I really love Nanook. I really love what we did on Nanook. It's a folky song where you can hear a bagpipe, flutes, a harp, a real harp, piano, a children choir. So I would say that this is one of the songs that really identifies how hard we worked for this album and how many things we gathered together inside this record. And Nanook is definitely the most complex song, and this is why it's my favorite. It's just the one I prefer.
You, Alyssa, and Marco all do vocals for the band. How do you guys work this out? Because, I mean, having three vocalists, I would say it would probably get a little uncomfortable sometimes who does what, but how do y'all work this out?
Well, if there is no ego, and luckily there is no ego involved in our band, it's a huge PowerPoint to have three singers, just because you have so many options, even regarding the vocals. You know what I mean? When you have a high part that must be sang with a gentle sound, it will be Alessia to sing it because it's a female vocals, and she has a really warm voice, and at the same time she's really nice, she's gentle, and she has this feminine touch that makes the difference. If we would sing a really high part, it would be like super belted, super screamed, so it not always fit. But at the same time, when this kind of energy is needed, we go either me or Marco go with the singing of this high part. At the same time, when you need a deep, low vocals, having two males makes the difference. And you have all the harmony construction that is just exciting when you have so many vocalists. I mean, there are some bands like Amaranthi or Brothers of Metal right now. They are newcomers, and they also have three clean singers. All this project like Avantasia, Arion, and company that actually have many vocalists, but they are hardly part of the fixed lineup. With us, it's fixed, so it's something we can really rely on when it comes to creation.
Were there any songs, Mick, that didn't get on this album that we could see down the road on another album or possibly an EP from you guys?
Unfortunately, yes. And I say unfortunately because, of course, you have limits. When we got in the studio, we had like 18 songs. so we had to leave 7 out of the record. 1 will be included in the Japanese edition of the album, because the Japanese market always has some more gifts from bands. But we had to leave behind other 6 songs. Maybe we will use them for some other projects, maybe not. But we really believe that every song has its moment. So it's really hard that we will use them in the future, because the moment of that song is just past. So yeah, I don't think we will reuse them in our future.
Who produced the album?
Me and Marco, we feature as main producer in the literal term of the literal meaning of the word producer, meaning that we are the guys that actually wrote the songs and arranged all the studio job and everything. But at the same time, the entire band joined during the composition progress. We have some songs that are written by Alessia in terms of lyrics, some songs that are written by Alfonso, our drummer, in terms of lyrics, and we have ideas from all the band members. But yeah, me and Marco, we are the official producer on the paper.
Jan Satir did the artwork for this album. How was working with him to get exactly what you guys wanted?
Well, that's another crazy story, because actually Ian has done of Jupiter and Moons. He never listened to the songs before the album, and we didn't tell him anything specific to give him a hint of what we would have loved to see on our cover artwork. We just gave him the concept, in this case the concept of Viridian, the concept behind the word Viridian. And we did the same with Of Jupiter and Moons, and we gave him some lyrics of the album to get into the mood. And then on his own, he came out with these 2 marvelous artworks. And I guess the next record will be again with Ian, because he just surprised us. We love to be surprised by him, and it's like a fantastic collaboration where we are actually expecting to see something that we don't know when we give him something to do, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool cover art that's on this album. I really dig it. So he did a hell of a job on this art for you guys.
Yeah, and with no suggestion, no indications or anything. So it's all the credit goes to him.
What do you hope everyone takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Temperance music in general? What do you hope someone takes away from your guys' music when they listen to it?
Well, basically, if anyone digs into the lyrics of Viridian, but also of the ones from Jupiter and Moons, he will find a positive band, a really positive band. We want to send some positiveness around, to spread some positiveness around the world. We have such a difficult times in this specific moment of our life, with all the shit that is going on in Australia and all around the world, Iran, Iraq, all the wars, and we are surrounded by an environment that is not really nice, not really shiny. What we want to do with our music is to spread some positiveness, just to make people smile, make people laugh, and make people, I wouldn't say forget about what's happening around us, because you never have to forget. But at the same time, if we don't find some happiness in our life, we are lost. So Temperance music is meant to make people smile in a really deep and happy way.
Yeah, my heart's breaking for Australia with all the loss of the animals and lives and things like that. I just could not believe the graph that I saw about how much land and stuff that they lost over there. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. I mean, it's like we're losing a lot of this world, with these fires and everything. And it's crazy how far we are going, it's our fault. We can be blind and say that it isn't, but we are all part of it, unfortunately. Don't want to accuse anyone specifically, but we can make the difference if we want, at least in our small part,
What can fans expect at a show from Temperance who have not got to see you all live as of yet?
Well, the first thing we would love to do is to tour everywhere as much as we can, and this is the main goal of our live shows. But at the same time, you can expect to have fun, because we never play the same concert, the same show twice. Some bands, they just have their show prepared, and when it comes to the first song and to going straight to the last one, you will find the same show in every country. What we do is to change as much as we can, of course, respecting the the identity of the songs from a show to another. But if you see two shows, one after the other of Temperance, you won't hear the same set list. Probably you will hear some changes between the parts that are sang. I will sing some part from Marco, Alessia will sing some parts from me. We love to do these little games and change some little things in between the shows, and at the same time you will get a lot of energy for sure.
What made you want to become a musician, Mick? What was that spark for you that said, I think I want to do this?
That's a hard question. That's a tough question. But, I just believe that it's a vocation. Sometimes you just feel this thing inside of you. I remember I was 6 years old. My mother put me into a piano class back in the primary school, and I was fascinated by the sounds and by music. Then I started listening to music, and I started to connect what I was playing on my piano with what I was listening to. And then I discovered that I could sing, and I tried to sing more and more and more. I started getting lessons. So it was not like a decision. It was like something that was inside me since the very beginning, and I just followed my lead.
How excited are you guys to go on tour this spring with metal legend Tara? Is that correct? Tazra?
That's a lot. that's a huge goal and a huge achievement that we reached with this band, because back in the days when you started playing, everything seemed to be a dream. You see these huge bands playing huge arenas, and you invite them, not with an evil meaning behind the word invite, but you just invite them because they are huge and they do things that you admire and that you want to do. And right now we are in the position of doing those things that we were dreaming of a couple of years ago. So it's a huge satisfaction. At the same time, I believe that we are a bit scared, all of us, because, we're not talking about other newcomers like us, where we can actually share something, share our first experience. We are talking about a goddess of metal, a part of history of modern metal. So we will have to play our cards really well to be satisfied of what we will do on the stages. But at the same time, we are super excited, and we will give our best for sure.
Folks, Temperance will release their 5th studio album entitled Viridian on January 24th. You want to get out and pick this up, pre-order it via Napalm Records, all that good stuff. Support this band. They have some really good stuff out there. Like Mick said, they do have a flavor full of metal songs out there, and that's true. They do have some really good stuff out there. So, Mick, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, this album, everything? How can they do that?
Well, we are extremely active on our social media. So if you write on Instagram to Temperance Official, or if you go on Facebook to facebook.com/Temperance Official, or even if you go on our website, that is www.temperanceband.com, and you send us an email, it's still us that is answering on the social medias, on Facebook, on Instagram, on the official mail. So if you want to directly get in touch with us, feel free to write. Our merchandise is available on the web store that is also reachable through our website. So it's extremely easy. We are young and active, and we love to communicate. We love to share our ideas and our feelings with fans. So feel free. We are here.
And Mick, before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Of course. So let's go. Hey everybody, this is Mick from Temperance, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We have some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our YouTube link and plus our podcast link. Please subscribe to our YouTube link, because anything and everything is going to go up on that. And I'm telling you what, we have some great stuff to look forward to, and plus past stuff that we're still posting up there. So don't give up on us yet. Mick, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck, man. And so far, so good on this album. It's really good. I like what you guys are bringing to the table for music, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this interview. I mean, it's really important for us to have these moments to give some more things about our records. It's always hard for musicians to find some space to talk about the concepts and what's behind the album. So thank you very, very much, man.
You're very welcome.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.